Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Saturday Night Live Weathering, but only on a Friday night. It's Friday night, 10 o'clock. Kind of like last week, I got a little bit of a scheduling conflict for tomorrow. Friday night, 10 o'clock. And got people coming in from out of town for operating weekend. In fact, a lot of them are here tonight. They're probably operating on a couple little layouts in the North Jersey area. And there's going to be going for today, tomorrow, and Sunday. Tomorrow night we're having a dinner, a welcome dinner, and friendship and fellowship gathering, just to get together with guys and talk about the sessions and how they've been going. And we do this every year for the past decade almost, with the exception of the COVID years. We didn't do it, but every other year we go down to Virginia and we operate on these guys' layouts down in Virginia and Maryland. Last year was more Maryland. I think next year it's going to be Virginia. And then, hey Ray, how you doing? Thanks for coming out and stopping by. You're the first one, so thanks for stopping in. So most of these guys will come up this year. They come up from Maryland and Virginia. And on the off year, we go down to Maryland or Virginia. Next year, I think it's Virginia. Last year, we're mostly in Maryland. And we'll operate down there. And it's kind of an invitational. It's not an open thing for everybody all over the country. It's just something that we're a bunch of friends that know each other from for years. And so we started going down there, I think, first. They invited us down, and then the North Jersey guys down. And then we reciprocated the following year, and the North Jersey guys invited the Virginia/Maryland, DC guys up by us. And we call this the New Jersey DC interchange. So like I said, every other year. So long story short, tomorrow night we'll be gathering, we'll be having drinks and eating good food and having good fellowship and having fun. And that's what I'm doing tomorrow night. So that's the reason why I'm on tonight. So anywho, I thought I'd just work on a couple of little things tonight. I got a couple of things going. You see this Penn Central, what Penn Central called them E-40s, and the New Haven, which they originated on, were called EP-5s. And this is the passenger version of this engine. Later on, the Penn Central converted them just for freight-only use. Took away one of the pantographs, changed the lettering on the side. It was a PC in the middle, like the mating worms in the middle, Penn Central on the bottom. And they took away the third rail shoe because there was no need for this to be operating on third rail. I'm trying to think where on the engine is the third rail shoe. I have to look for it. And I think this little overhead pantograph too was gone. And these ran around by where I live. They ran around by where I live. They did a lot of work out of Brown's Yard in Sayreville, Old Bridge, Sayreville area, between South Amboy there. They did a lot of, believe it or not, the local switching was Cantonary for the longest time. I have a friend of mine, Doug Watts. He used to be the yard master at Brown, one of the yard masters at Brown. And I asked him, when in Conrail did they get rid of the overhead? He said they stopped using the overhead a while he was there, and then they finally took all the wiring down sometime in the 90s, but they weren't using it. So, but this is what used to run over there, and plus they used it on some other freights too. So what I'm going to do tonight with this, it's not going to weather this. I'm going to try lifting the lettering and the mating worm off of this using a different technique that I normally use. I've used in the past to take away lettering and numbering. I've used an old method that I found out through Comback, was one of their old books, freight car projects, and it uses Comet, making a slurry with water and Comet, and using a toothpick and just gently rubbing what you're trying to get rid of. But I've seen a lot lately, and I guess this has been around for a while, people using either Microsol or Solveset soaked on a paper towel and leaving it on for 20, 30 minutes, and then going back, putting a piece of tape on there, and then lifting it off with tape. So I got some tape on the side here ready to go. and I have, I'm going to try this. We'll see how it goes. I got a couple different ways to do this if this doesn't work, but I just want to see how it works for me. This is not the main topic for tonight. Like I said, we're going to do a couple little things while this is setting and getting ready to go. I am going to finish up this car. I did a little demonstration earlier in the week. I did a short on it, fading with one of the MIG washes, the MIG wash I was using called Neutral Wash. If you remember, we used that last time on the Penn Central RS11, and I'm using that as a fade. And I figure I'll finish the car up tonight with that. If we have a little bit of time, so I'm not trying to keep this no more than an hour, 20 minutes, hour and a half the most. I'm going to go back to this. This is a car I did during one of the RPMs. I'm trying to remember which one. It might have been NERPM. And I did this with the class that I was teaching. So I used this as a demonstration. This was partially weathered. I did some more weathering on it this week. And I'm just going to take it out and look it over. We got a little bit of time at the end to see if I can add anything to it. The reason why I'm revisiting this car is that tomorrow night we're going to have some door prizes for the visiting people, for the visiting team. We try to give them something to go back with. And I told Rich Wisniewski, who's taking care of, he's the master of ceremonies and taking care of the dinner, that I would donate this car. It's a brand new car. It's dirty because I weathered it. And I said I would donate a weathered car. So we're going to look at it maybe at the end of the night and see if there's anything else we can add to it, if anything. So, all right, let's see who's joining us. We have, I should put my glasses on to read this. Hold on. Okay. Adolin B820. Welcome. And BM Coleman. And of course, Ray, my good buddy Ray, who I am greatly indebted to for gifting me something that I was going to get and didn't get around to getting it. But if you can see it here, Ray gifted me this centrifugal, or what's it called? Vortex mixer. And it's greatly improved my life and my weathering. So thank you, Ray. And, in case you don't know, Ray is from Around the Layout podcast, and I highly recommend that you sign up for that and listen. It's free. And if you really like what you hear, you can always join up to be a contributing member, or they call it the operating crew, for $3 a month on Patreon, and it's well worth it because you get a lot of extra good stuff with that. So, but thank you again, Ray. I really appreciate the gift and really appreciate it. All right, so as always, this being a weekend night, even though it's not Saturday, it's Friday, we are going to have our obligatory beer. People who've been with me in the past, I'm not sure if. And Adolin, I really appreciate you subscribing. Thank you so much for subscribing to the for the podcast. I mean, for the live stream. We do this every week. Normally on Saturday nights. The past 2 weeks is Friday night, and I always try to throw in some shorts or some short videos in the middle of the week. Still working out with my friend Ralph Heist, maybe to have a live, not kind of a call-in show, but like a live show where just me and him will just pop on live and talk weathering and answer questions about weathering. He's got some different techniques than I use, and we'll just bust each other's balls and try to answer some questions and not be not too nutty. But still working on that. Trying to figure out how we're going to get on together. I really got to spend a little more time investigating. But anyway, tonight's obligatory beer is Athletic Brewing Company Run Wild IPA. Again, I pretty much cut out alcohol. I will probably have a bourbon tomorrow night at the dinner. I haven't cut it out completely. Only reason I've done it is just to try to be a little more healthy. And these non-alcoholic beers are very, very delicious. You don't even think like the only thing you're missing is the alcohol, so you don't taste any difference. It's not like the old light beers used to be, or Old Duels. Old Duels was, it was terrible. But some of these non-alcoholic brews have been really good. I had one last night. We went out to dinner, took my daughter out, youngest daughter of 3, out with her husband and my little granddaughter out to dinner for her birthday, because yesterday was her birthday. And I had a Sam IPA that was a Sam Adams IPA that was non-alcohol. And it was good. But I think these are actually better than Sam's. I really do. I know these Athletic Brewing Company. There's some other ones I've been trying to, I bought a lot of this, and I'm still trying to. I don't drink this too often. I trying to finish these up, and I'm going to make another order to my cousin, who is one of my unofficial sponsors, the Unleaded Beverage Company, and she carries all kinds of unleaded, non-alcoholic beers, wines, spirits at reasonable prices, and she's got a great selection. So check it out. I always put her URL and the link in the description, and check it out. And I always, like I said, tell her, cousin Ted sent you. It's not going to get you a discount or anything like that, but I just want her to know I've been supporting her. I'm her best customer, I think, sometimes. But anyway, so without further ado, let's say a cheers for tonight. Cheers, guys and ladies and guys and whoever else is out there in the background. Appreciate you being here on a Friday night. And cheers. Okay. Now, disclaimer. This is the first time that I've ever done this. Let me get this a little more centered here. Oh no. Am I sideways again? Oh my God. All right, so I thought I set this up the right way, guys. Do you mind me being sideways tonight, or should I change it? Let's change it. Otherwise, it's going to drive me crazy. Let's do it this way, maybe. If you don't set this up at the beginning the right way, and beginning meaning, I set this up 4 hours ago to go live at 10 o'clock. Let's see what I can do here. All right. No. Yeah, I can't change it. I can't change it here. Let's see. Just one more thing here. Nope. All right. So we're going to go partial. We'll go partial like this. Let me just adjust the camera. Get a little higher. And we'll go Batman style. Slightly, remember Batman when they used to climb up the building? It was like vertical, or some of the villains' lairs or their hideouts were like on a slant. So we're gonna be on a slant tonight. So anyway, and I get this more into the middle of the shot. Let me check my camera here. All right. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna squeeze the camera over. Like I said before, we do this. We fly by the seat of our pants here. That's Saturday Night Live weathering. So, all right. So, anybody else join us since then? We got BM Coleman. We said hi already. All right. We have how many people watching right now? All right. We got a few people. So, all right. So, let's get started. So, what I saw, and like I said, this is the first time me doing it. So, what you need is paper towels. All right. You need your setting solution for either Solveset or Microsol. I have both, but I'm going to use Solveset. Hopefully I don't regret that decision. Brand new bottle. I just opened it up tonight. Took the shrink wrap off of it. And I'm going to tear a piece that'll be the size of the mating worms. Then I'll tear another piece that'll be the size of the PC. So let's do this. So we'll put that over there. Yeah, that'll fit there. Or maybe we'll do this one. We'll do this one here. Let's get this more on its side. And then we'll cover up the PC here. The mating worms, as they call them. I love the mating worms. All right, and then we'll fold this up to use to wipe stuff off later. Let's turn this over to a clean side. All right, everybody have a good week. I hope everybody's had a good week. Hope you've done some modeling. I really enjoy doing this on the weekend, guys. Like I said, I appreciate you being here because this forces me to do some modeling. It's just too easy to go and sit down and watch YouTube. And that's my biggest problem is I get sucked into YouTube, and next thing you know, it's like 1 o'clock in the morning and I've accomplished nothing. So this forces me on the weekend to come down along with some other, on Tuesday nights. Part of the benefit of being operating crew member on the Around the Layout podcast is that you get to join us on Tuesday nights, and we have a kind of like a Zoom BS meeting. It's on Google Meets. They're Ray hosts, and we go an hour and a half, 2 hours sometimes, and talk about what's going on. Ray gives us an update on the podcast. We show off what we're doing modeling. A lot of us are modeling while we're talking. It's a lot of fun. And then on Sunday nights, I have a group that I do Zoom call with that we do some modeling while we're doing that. So it gets me down in the basement. And now this, either Friday or Saturday night, gets me down in the basement and doing stuff that I normally should be doing and I haven't been doing. And this is a project that I've been wanting to do for the longest time, this E-40. So let's see how this goes. So first thing we're going to do, they say you got to wet paper towel. And there I am shaking the camera already over what you want to lift up. So you put a lot of this down. I wonder if I should use a dropper. I see most people using a brush. Press it down, really soak it up. And I guess the Microsol and the, my guess is the Microsol and the Solveset are just enough to dissolve or loosen up this pad printing, because I don't know if you know, most stuff that comes from the factory are pad printed with an ink or paint. So let's move this down. Yeah, you could use some paint remover, but that would probably take some of the black paint off in the back there. This seems to be a little more gentle. It doesn't do that. And let's get the next one. Sorry guys, I hit the camera again. It's not in the best spot tonight, the way I've got this configured, but all right. So we're going to set this up, and like I said, this takes about 30 minutes supposedly. So we are going to set this on the side once we got this set up. And then we'll go on to something else. We'll go on to the gondola. Haven't bought anything this week, which is good for my pocketbook. So it really doesn't have anything to show off for as purchases and stuff. I did purchase some supplies on Amazon that I'm waiting for to come in for my modeling efforts. I ordered some more, where is it? Some more of those little rubber sponges on the end of the plastic stick that you've seen me use in the past. I thought I had one out here. Yeah, here it is. I still got some of these. I didn't really need them, but I saw it for a good price, and it's like 150 double-sided, so I'll get a lot of use out of them for a cheap price. So let me just see something. There we go. All right. I'm going to press that down. I'm going to press that down. Let's get a little bit more, especially down here where it's dry. All right. I'm going to seal this back up. I've seen people do a couple other ways too. I'm going to use the tape method with the clear tape. See, that lifts it off. I've seen other people do it, so I know it works. I've also seen people use an eraser. Some people use a very fine sanding stick. I'd be a little leery about using a sanding stick. I'm not sure I would want to do that. But we're going to try this. We're going to try the tape method first. So we're going to lift this up. We're going to move it. And then I'm going to bring the gondola over. All right, so I'll make a little room over here at the top of my desk, which is messy. I should probably clean this up. Okay. And we're going to move this over here. All right. And we're going to bring in our Pennsylvania 3-bay hopper. I've been working on this on and off for the past week. I was experimenting with it. This is a black hopper, and we know black's a little hard to work with as far as trying to fade. You would fade it with, what's the opposite of black? If you look on the color wheel, it's going to be white, right? So you would use black, you would use white, maybe some grays, maybe a darker brownish color just to do a fade, just to offset the color of black. I looked through my washes, the other week when I was doing the RS1, and I saw I had this neutral wash, and it's kind of like a concrete gray or a dark cement gray. And I used it on the RS1 for the first time, and I liked it. It faded it out. It came out a little too light, but I was able to wash a lot of it away. You could use your odorless thinner to erase some mistakes or take away some stuff when you're not happy with it. Like the rusting that I did on top of that, and you saw with the update during the week following that I took some of the rust away and actually used the rust to wash instead of the pigment. So well, anyway, let's use our little vortex mixer that Ray gifted me. We're going to mix this up. I love this thing. It's the best thing I ever got, Ray. I'm not too sure how long I'm supposed to do this for. I do it for about 30 seconds or so. All right. Okay, let me show you what we've done so far. So I started out this week, before I made the short about this car, I did a quarter of the car just to see how it would come out. I'll give you a little close-up. When I made the short video, I did the second, well, a third of the car. I did the second third of the car. I left a couple panels black over here. Also did the chutes underneath, all right? So you can see that's a little bit of a fade. It's got a little bit of a chalkiest, look to it. But I'm going to offset that with a little bit of a darker wash, a very light coating of a darker wash over the light wash. And we'll see how that goes. I have done nothing with the rest of the car. Now this is a tangent car. This didn't come to the family from the factory, painted for Pennsylvania. I bought this off of a guy at the St. Joseph's show up in Rutherford, New Jersey a few weeks back. It was a friend of mine. Got the tangent car for basically next to nothing. I think I paid him $10 for it. This is a $40, $50 car. Again, I don't know if he bought it undecorated and painted it. It looks like it's been painted, or it looks like, well, it definitely was decaled. If you look at the side, you can see the decal film a little bit. And I'm guessing that once I do the weathering on it, that's going to really fall into the background. So we're going to try and finish this car up tonight. I'll pop the wheels out. Debating whether I'm going to keep the car or not, or get rid of it or sell it or what. I could use it on the Ironton layout. This has got a build date of what? Oh, it's got this says built 1960, March of 60. I got a feeling these cars were built before then, but I could be wrong. I'm not sure. I'd have to go and look at the tangent site and see if they have any data on that, but neither here nor there. All right, so let's get our neutral wash. Again, let's get a little more of a spin on the vortex spinner, and then we will deposit some in our tray. All right. In compartment number 1. All right. Put that off to the side. Roll up my sleeves. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to finish up the last quarter of the car here. I'm going to flip it over, do the side, and then I'm going to do the ends. All right. Also tonight we'll be popping out the code 110 wheels and popping in some code 88, which is the fine scale wheels. I'm not going to do nothing with the couplers tonight. So I'm trying to determine, these almost look like these are the fine scale couplers on here. I'm going to have to get one out and look at it. Also, I'm going to have to go into my parts box eventually and see if I can come up with, I don't know if you can see, this, again, this was a used car, so looks like the brake wheel is broken and it's missing the deck over here. So if the brakeman or if the conductor need to climb up and get up here and set the brake wheel, he's got nothing to stand on, so we're going to have to fix that. Look at my parts box. It might not happen tonight, but we'll see. So anyway, so we're going to take our solution, wipe it down, get some on the ladders. Let's do this end too while we got it, the brush wet. I'm not going to do inside. It looks like my friend did something in the inside with rust. I don't know if you can see in there. So that's looking kind of nice already on its own. So we're not going to do anything with that. Same thing with the other side. So maybe we'll put a little grime in there later. I'm not sure, but yeah, everything's fluid. Yeah, we'll decide later on when we get to that point what we're going to do with it. Make sure we get some across the top ridge too here. All right, let's move along. Bring this down random. In between each rib, get down on these discharge chutes, whatever they call them. All right, some on the ladder rungs. We're going to go all the way around the car and finish up this last side. Dip it, a little dip. Bring it down. Didn't mean to get it on the coupler. Wipe that off. All right, and get along the top there too. I mean, debating what I'm going to do with the inside of the car. Looks like there's a little bit of rust done inside, not a lot. It's got a removable coal load. Where did I put that? And this coal load doesn't look as bad as some of the Bowser ones. This actually looks pretty decent for a plastic formed coal load. So I'm not sure if I'm going to do anything with it or not. Just as a reminder, this is what I did with the Bowser cold load. Just added some canopy glue and dipped it in, covered the whole thing with canopy glue, dipped it in black sand, and sprinkled just a tiny bit of black sandy ground on top. And this is what it looks like. So it doesn't look that far off. You can see a little bit more sparkle in there, I guess from the sand. So I don't think this has to be anything done with this one. So but this one fits inside. This is the one that came with the tangent cord. Fits inside there. So all right. So let's go back. We wanted to let that set up a little bit, get tacky, and now we're going to go back with a dryer brush. And let's see, is this the side I started with or this side? Started with this side. So I'm going to wipe some of that away. Same thing on the end. Wipe some of the excess away. Blend it in. Go to the side here. Let it get a little more dry so I can press down a little harder on it to take some of it away. But weathering, a lot of times you're adding a lot and you're going to take a lot of it away. So you have like a residue left behind. Seems counterintuitive sometimes, but it's how it works the best. Because when you're trying to take away, you're not going to get it all away in one shot. So that's what leaves that nice weathered look to the car. Yeah, let's wipe this brush off. All right, and then we're going to go back with a clean sponge. Let's see, is this the side we started with? No, I think it was this side here. All right, so this was all done previously. All right. Or maybe not. And we're going to wipe a bunch of it away with our sponge. You see the sponge is starting to get a little dirty. Do the end. All right. Give the rim a little clean. All right. Let's let that sit for a second. Let's pop out some of our wheels that we're going to need later on. Like I said, I like to use these Code 88 wheels, so let's get these ready. One more. Also, too, we get a little micro sponge out just to have ready, because that one that I got out right now is kind of funky. I think I told you guys last week, I got these at Hobby Lobby for a decent price, but not as good as prices I just got on Amazon. Got a really good price on Amazon, so. For 150, I think I paid maybe $4 for these, You know, got maybe 25 in there. So these are good for getting in places like this, in between if you want to get in there. So we're going to wipe a little bit more with this in between. Okay. Hey, excuse me a second, everybody. I have a sweatshirt on and I'm starting to roast. Normally it's a little chilly in the basement, but today it's a little bit warm. So I'm going to just peel the layer off. All right. Okay. So we can see what we got going on here right now. We got this light haziness, like a light hazy dustiness to it. All right. It's not perfect, but it's not super black like the original car was. So we're going to go back now and hit it with a different wash. So I was looking at my different washes, and I thought I had run out of this Panzer blue for Panzer gray, and I've used this in the past for black engines and dark gray stuff. But I also have what's called interior wash, and if you look at the bottom there, that's got like a grayish with a tiny bit of tan overtone to it. So I'm almost thinking about trying at least one panel with this to see how it looks. And if not, we'll go back to using the Panzer Gray, blue for Panzer Gray. Vortexing on the Vortex mixer. All right. Let's get a new pipette. We don't want to mix the two colors together in the pipette. We'll keep them separate. As you can see, this is a brand new bottle. Let's pop the protective cap off there. Looks a little watery. We're gonna vortex this up a little bit more. Okay. Put some in the next to it. And we can see this is almost a little similar to the neutral wash, just a darker shade of it. I don't know if you guys can see that difference there. I think I'm going to drop some of the blue for Panzer Gray in another cup just to have it available. So let's see, where is it? Blue for Panzer Gray. Let's give that a little stir. And while we're vortexing the bottle there, let's have another drink. Cheers, everybody. Maybe a little bit more. All right. We'll drop this in the cup and we can see what the difference is between them here. Blue for Panzer Gray. So, hit the camera, sorry about that. Let's take a look at the differences between the three now. All right, so right here we have our neutral wash. This is the interiors wash, and this is the blue for Panzer Gray. And if you can see, it looks like gray with a little bit of a blue tint to it. You know? So I'm almost leaning towards just using the blue for Panzer Gray. Let's see. Let's do a couple panels just with the interior wash. And we'll do a couple with the blue for Panzer Gray. We'll do a side-by-side comparison. Well, that definitely came darker. All right. All right. Let's wipe a little bit away with the sponge. Actually, let's go in with our brush and blend it in a little bit. Take a look. You can see the difference. The interior wash looks like it kind of complements the neutral wash, but it's also a lot of the same, it looks like, where we get a little bit more of a tone variation with the blue for Panzer Gray. And I'm almost leaning towards the blue for Panzer Gray. I think I said last week or the week before, I had a brand new bottle that when I opened it up, it was ruined. I don't know what happened to it. And I've had it for a while, so I don't think I was be able to return it. So I just had to chuck it. So I got to order another bottle. I'm glad I found this other bottle. It's almost done. It's probably got about 1/10 of a bottle left in the bottom there. All right, anybody got an opinion? Which one we like better? Bring it up a little closer. Blend it in. All right, my opinion is I like the blue for Panzer Gray a little better. So I think I'm going to go with that. So let's try to go a little lighter with it though. And across the top there, do some brush down. Dry up a little bit. Just do the end. So just a recap of what we've done so far. We started with a neutral wash, which is like a very light gray. and it kind of like softened up the black on the car a little bit. Now we're highlighting with the blue for Panzer Gray. And go around the car doing that one. And then we will blend it all in and then go with some grime on the bottom of the car. All right, let's bring this down. So just a reminder for anybody who's new, and I'm not sure if anybody's new here, when we're doing our washes, we want to go from the top of the car down, so we're going with a top to down or top to bottom stroke. We're dragging down what we did across the top in random strokes. When we go back and do the road grime later on, that's the stuff that gets kicked up from the roadbed and the track. And it's going to be along the bottom, and it gets kicked up onto the car, so we'll be going from the bottom of the car up. And bring that down. And we did here. Did we do here yet? I don't remember. We're going to do it anyway. Bring that down. Okay. Let that sit for a few seconds to dry. Get a little tacky. And then go back with our blending brush and blend it in. Anybody new join us, say hi. Don't be shy. If you guys have any questions, put them in the comments and I'll try to answer for you. All right. Okay, we're going back to blend with the blending brush. You can almost see the effect that I was going for. You can see the light underneath it, especially building up around the bottom a little bit. With a little overtone of the darker wash. Let's blend in the ends here a little bit. Around the other side. Working our way from top to bottom. Do this last end here. Then we go back with the sponge. All right. Let's wipe that off. All right, let's get a clean sponge. See, these sponges get pretty dirty pretty quickly. I buy them real cheap. My wife bought me these white wedge sponges on Amazon. She got like 500 sponges. They all just connect like this. And I think we got them for like 10 bucks or something. So well worth it. And sometimes, like I said, I can get these little more, you can tell these are very flexible, very soft. These guys are a little bit more firm. So sometimes when you need to rub a little bit more harder, you would use one of these. Or one of these. These came in an assortment pack that I got from my local supermarket very cheaply. Anyway, let's work these sponges here. So. You can notice we do a lot of the same technique on all different kinds of cars. the theory is the same on everything. That's why it looks like it's repetitive. Every week I'm doing the same thing. But you know, you always want adding our washes at the top and letting them drip down. You could use your washes on lighter cars as a panel liner. So sometimes we do some panel lining. Obviously, you know, panel lining is not going to show up on this car because it's black, but work our way around. Put my finger between each of these ribs and wiping away. Not too hard. You know, I want to have some random streaks. You know, no two freight cars are weather the same out in the real world. So you don't want to have a pattern that's repeating on car after car after car. Try to vary it up a little bit. All right, this last little bit here on the end. All right. One of the things you can notice right away is that the decal film, what little bit you were able to see before, is starting to fade underneath the weathering. So this is actually improving the car a little bit. All right, we're gonna get our powders out. We're gonna, it's a reminder of what we have in this tray. We have Russian Earth, which is the darker of the two powders. And we have what's called dark earth, which is, believe it or not, the lighter of the two. So Russian earth is actually darker than the dark earth. All right. Sometimes on a lighter car, you want to go with a little bit of lighter pigment color for the road grime. So maybe we'll start with the dark earth a little bit. All right. What we're going to do is we're going to go along the bottom of the car. Brush it down along the bottom of the car. This is dry powdered pigment. And you want to do this step while the wash is still a little tacky. You don't want the wash wet. You want it tacky. Tackiness is what's going to get it to set into the side of the car and make it look like it's dirt that's been ground into the side of the car. Let's kick it up on the end here a little bit. Then just brush it randomly up like this. So we're going from bottom up. Everything gets kicked off the ground and gets kicked up onto the car. All right, let's take a look. So you can see that effect right away there. That's come out nice. Do the same thing on the end. It's going to be a little bit hard to do it here because let's get a couple of just spots a little wet. This, I'll show you what I'm talking about. If you do it while it's wet, see how that turned it into paint? It turns the pigment into paint. Not a big deal. When it dries again, it's going to dry and it's going to look like a dry powder like it looks on the side here. But it's best not to do that if you can avoid it, all right? Just get a little bit in there, just to grind that up a little bit, especially on the ladders, brake wheel. All right, let's get on this side here. Same thing, we're gonna go along the bottom. Some of this pigment into the bottom of these vertical ribs. Get some on the discharge chutes. Kick some up on the end like that. And just draw it up from the bottom to the top. So it's a little darker on the bottom and it gets lighter as it goes to the top. Just like road grain would go. You saw it on a real car. You can see how pretty quick this process is. All right, we've got one more end to do. If you're really into weathering, I would, and you want to see a master at work, Mike Correa was on Around the Layout broadcast, Around the Layout podcast this past week, and Ray did a live. It was Sunday night. He did a live YouTube live stream with Mike, and Mike talked about his different processes. If you've never seen Mike's work, Mike lives down in Mexico. I guess his name is really McDwell. He lives down in Mexico, and he does some fantastic weathering. If you know Butch Eiler and Dave Appadisano and Tony Sissons, it's that type of work. I would almost say, and I don't want to talk down about those guys. Those guys are really good. They're a hell of a lot better than me. But Mike just like kills it. He just knocks it out of the park every time. And he's got some good ideas, and he's got some good, some really good techniques that you can learn a lot off of. So I really suggest. It was this past Sunday. You can go on YouTube. You can go to roundthelayout.com, Round the Layout podcast on YouTube, and you can rewatch the interview. It was awesome. It was super awesome. Highly recommend it. All right, so I'm not going to do anything else with this car. Actually, this came out pretty good. Let's a little recap. Let's see, how much time do we have here so far? I just want to look and see how long we've been going, because I'm trying to keep this within an hour to an hour and a half. We're at 56 minutes, so we got a little bit more time. Normally what we do is we would go in and do the trucks and do the wheels. And I think we have some time, so we'll do that. So let me pop these wheels out. I'm saving all my code 110 wheels because I have friends that use them, and I will donate them to one of my friends. And I will use my code 88. Anybody who likes code 110 and want to get rid of code 88, I'll trade you. Just write me a message and let me know. But I don't think most people who have code 88 are not going to trade off for 110s. So, if you have good track work and stuff, you don't have no problem with the code 188s. It's code 88s, not 188. Okay. Let's just turn this way. And we still have to go back to our, what do you call it? Our EP-40. So we're going to do that right after we finish the trucks and stuff on here. All right, so for our side frames, we're going to paint the sides with what's called Kursk soil. This is an enamel paint. It's not a wash, it's actual paint. All right. And it represents the soil that's around Kursk in Ukraine. So a lot of stuff going on over there. A lot of the military modelers, you know, they like that whole Russian front modeling. You know, some of the Russian stuff that was in those battles in and around Kiev, which used to be called what, not St. Peter's, but it used to be called Leningrad. And that's why you get a lot of these colors like Russian earth and stuff like that. Oh, looks like I broke off a ladder here. That's all right. I'll fix that later. All right, so let's just get a little bit of this into our paint tray. Put some up there. We don't need a lot. All right, cover this up. Go in with a clean brush. And what we're going to do is we're going to dip the brush in there. Going to wipe a little bit off on a paper towel. We don't want it too wet. It's like a modified dry brush. It's not quite dry, but you don't want to sopping wet either. We're going to cover the truck side frames with this Kursk soil. Oops, I got a little bit on the bottom of the ladder there, but we can fix that. There we go. We do the same thing. The other side, tip a little bit off, the excess off. We want to get in and around into the springs everywhere on this. This is not going to be the final color. We're going to actually put some of this Russian earth or this dark earth, or maybe a combination of both, onto these side frames. Clean that brush off. We're going to go with our brush for the pigments. Dip it into our pigment, and we are going to just dab this paint pigment onto the side frame. And what that's doing, you have the Kursk soil, which is like a beige, tannish beige. That's on the bottom, and it'll show through a little bit. We're using these pigments to darken it up, and it gives you that dirty, tiny bit of rust type look to the truck side frames, which is what you see on the prototype. So just drop some on here. Let's give it a little bang, get the excess off. And you can see how that looks compared to the other side frames. All right. Go back to our paintbrush. Kursk soil, wipe off some of the excess. Go in and paint up the side frame. Dip again, dip off the excess, to the other side frame. Wipe the brush off. Go back to our pigment brush, get some of this dark earth. Dab it onto the side frame. Do the other one. A little bit more. Just get a little bit more in there. Knock off the excess. So we need a tiny bit more in this corner here. Okay, awesome. Okay, let's go paint our wheels real quick, and then we will go back to our Ep-40, see what's going on with that. For the wheels, we use an acrylic. This is from Enamel by MIG. It's an old rust acrylic. And what I like about this method of painting the wheels is that you don't need a mask, you don't need to put on tape, you don't need to do anything else. Let's get yourself a micro brush, a little couple dabs of this paint, and you're set to go. Just a couple of drops. We don't need a lot. Maybe one more. 4 drops. 1 drop for each wheel. All right, we can go back and we can use our brush that we were using, the micro brush. What am I talking about? Oops. I had my pieces of tape there. Ready to go. So we got our wheel. Dip the wheel with the brush in the paint. Just paint around the inside of the wheel rim here. This acrylic will dry really quick. I like that for certain things. I don't like it drying quick for like washes. I don't use it as a wash. I don't like the acrylic washes at all. But for the wheel sets, I like them for this. That's one. Two. Now looking at my calendar and my crystal ball, I think I should be able to be back on Saturday night next week. So for everybody who had something to do tonight, couldn't be here tonight, really sorry about that. I figure instead of not having a session tonight, a session this week, because I had something going on Saturday, I'd do it on Friday night again. And if nothing else, you guys catch the replay. Not a big deal. You know, look at my analytics, and I get a lot of people watching after the fact, and I guess it's because Fridays or Saturday nights aren't good. Obviously, it's a weekend. People have lives, unlike me. Although tomorrow night I do have something going on, so I do have a little bit of a life, I guess. But all right, 3 sets done, and we've got one more to do. And I'll save you the boring part of popping these wheels back in. I'll pop them in after the live feed. I'm going to get back to that Ep-40 because I'm really curious to see if this is going to work or not. It's been sitting there for at least 40 minutes now. They say, 30 minutes or so. So I'm thinking that should be more than enough, hopefully, to get that mating worm and lettering to pop off there. On both sides. There you go. Awesome. All right, let's just take a look at the car again one more time. I think that's a pretty good weathering job. We call this quick and easy weathering. You can see it didn't really take much to do to get this car looking like it's been in service for a while. They don't wash freight cars, guys. So, except for maybe some of the billboard freight cars back in the day, maybe pacemakers and stuff like that. But as far as coal cars go, you're not going to see a clean coal car, a hopper car. So, all right, so let's clean this mess up a little bit here. We're going to move on and get our Ep-40 back over here and see what happens. Let me take the paper towels off and see if we can lift off the oh wow. Oh wow. Wow. I don't know if you can see it on camera. Oh my. A lot of this just came up with the paper towel. That is neat. In case you just joined me late, I've never done it this way before, lifting lettering and stuff off of a car or engine. It's my first time trying this, and I am impressed. I'm impressed. We are gonna wipe some of the excess off here. Look at this. I don't even have to do the tape. Holy mackerel. But you can also see it's taking off some of the black paint a little bit too, so. But not much. Oh wow. I did not have to do anything with tape. And yes, eventually this engine will be weathered, so maybe I won't worry about this that came off here, but definitely going to have to go a little less next time. Take the microsol attacked the paint a little bit. But it did do what I was looking for it to do, take the paint off. I'm going to scratch some of that off there. I mean, this was supposed to be what you did. You put the tape on there and pull off. Definitely when I do the other side, I'm going to go less. Definitely got to do less next time. So you can see now, I don't know if this film is pad print ink or if it's actually taking away some of the black. I'm not too sure. But I am impressed that it worked as good as it did. What I'm going to do is during the week I'm going to go back and try the other side. Go a little less time. I'll go, because I kind of lost track of time. I was working on the car there. And I lost track of time here. I definitely got to go less on that. Yeah, I think that's, I think the white stuff is from the lettering. I think I could wipe a lot of this away. Maybe a little bit of alcohol or thinner. I can wipe some of this away here. All right, anyway, that experiment kind of worked. I'm happy with it. I'm feeling good about it. It's a project I've been wanting to tackle for a while, so yeah. Well, anyway, guys, we're gonna end it here. I'm not going to get to the New York Central car. I'll probably look at it tomorrow before I pack it up and bring it with me to the dinner to give away to a lucky guy from one of the lucky guys from the DC area. But I appreciate you guys being with me on a Friday night, whether it's Friday night or Saturday night. You could be doing something else, but you spent the time with me, and I really, really appreciate that. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe to the channel. Check during the week for some shorts that'll pop up, and hopefully eventually we'll have a question and answer live feed with my friend Ralph Heiss. I'm not sure when it's going to be, maybe next week or the week after. As soon as we get that worked out, I'll make an announcement and we'll do that. Anyway, guys, thanks again. Appreciate you being here, and we'll catch you next Saturday at 10 p.m. Hopefully this will be the last of the Friday nights for a while. Saturday Night Live, weathering. Thank you. Catch you next time.